Great day, great day, great day. Once again, it's a great day. I'll just say it again. Great day, great day, great day. It is always a great day, family. Always a great day. All right, so once again, I'm coming to you, a voice of consciousness coming to you on this fourth day of April. It's early in the morning, fourth day in April. So this is April 4th, 2022, and it's the Melanin Man, of course. A great day. The Melanin Man, aka a voice of consciousness. All right, so here's the deal. We're going to talk about this. We have to talk about this. All right. Who says, what does doing the work mean? You hear about it, you got to do the work. The work. If you're not doing the work, you're not serious. And what are they talking about? This inner activity that's been going on for the longest should not be viewed as work. And understand, and overstand. The work has been done. All you got to do is turn on, tune in, turn it up. The work has been done. Family, let me say this again. The work has been done. We are in a space of time right now whereby that which those people who do not understand call magic, you are the magic. The work has been done. There is no work. See, part of the psychology, and it's a big part of the whole process, the psychology of what I call it the virus, is ignorance. We've been conditioned and programmed through ignorance. Now, ignorance is not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It's just a thing. When you ignore what you know, which is what we've done for eons, well, maybe not that long, maybe hundreds of years, maybe centuries. I don't really care about how long it's been. The reawakening is now. For those who want to, they are reawakening. I don't give you a whole bunch of rituals. You're the ritual. I don't give you quote unquote magic. There is no such thing as magic. Magic is that which is called magic by those who know nothing about what nature is all about. Let's be clear on that. What you are is the epitome of nature. That doesn't make you better. It just means that you have special abilities as a result of being so closely connected. And there's been a sacred sovereign promise for you to express with creativity, imagination, and above all, love. Now, love don't mean, you can step on me, kick me, and I'll keep coming back to you saying, why? No, love ain't weak. Love is not weak. The whole idea is we've been conditioned and programmed through ignorance. And ignorance knows nothing about what we are about. So, let me just say this. There is no magic. You are the, whatever it is that you're thinking of, you are it. Okay? So let's be clear. There's been a series of programming rather, that has been exacted and enacted on the mind, because those who've done what they've done had a little bit of some interest in having things done a certain way, indifferent to what is natural to you. So, the conditioning and the programming came about to manipulate and manage you. Otherwise, you couldn't be managed. And you are needed to keep this going. So, I don't get off into what someone else is doing as much as just to the extent to know that everything is or can be a program to the mind. Everything is and can be a program to the mind. When people are talking about doing the work, they're using the ignorance of the terms, the ignorance in the terms that has been provided. Therefore, eliminating the understanding, and overstanding of the natural order of things. It's not work when you love what you do. It's not work when you have an affinite love for what you do. When you want to do. So work denotes drudgery, denotes disdain. See, it's all psychological. When you start talking about work, then hey, I ain't got no time for that. But it's not work. The work has been done, meaning the principles by which you are governed and processed with your brain has been brought to this place in space and time, to an awakening, to a quickening, to a level of inner, under, and overstanding of who and what you are. And who and what you are, do you consider walking work? Unless you're sick and something's wrong with you, walking is just a normal process. Do you consider eating work? I mean, you can say, yeah, you're working your jaws and your digestive system is working, but you don't think about that. You don't concern yourself with a drudgery. You don't associate doing something. If you're playing basketball or you shooting pool or whatever you're doing for fun, you don't consider that work, because it's just something you enjoy. You have an enthusiasm. You have a feeling of excitement to want to be a part of it, to do it, to enjoy it. That's what it's about. It's about enjoying it. So the life that we live is not a struggle. See, these are conditions and programs that have been processed over and over and over and over till we only see it as the way we've been told that it is. We've not stepped outside of the box and say, wait a minute, What if I like this? What if I want to do this? But if you're consistently being bombarded with thoughts around what others did and comparing yourself, and these are professionals and you're not a professional, or this is an educated person and you're not educated, and or that's someone who's has money and you don't have no money, or they have a car. When you start comparing yourself to stuff that has nothing to do with the natural process by which you can embrace and enhance the memory of yourself, and thereby engulfing and enriching your presence with a essence that is present in this now. When you can do that, none of that stuff matters. Things don't matter. Matter is immaterial. However, if you focus on material or having or doing, comparing, you're still operating with the processing with mindset of that which you've been programmed to do. Everything is a program. The idea that doing the work, that's a program. The idea that you have to work by the sweat of your brow, that's a program. You don't have to do it. You can choose to do it, but you don't have to do it. So everything is a program. Now, since everything is a program, keep in mind now, the question is, who or what is in control or controlling the mind? That's always the question. Who's controlling your mind? Who is in charge? The brain doesn't differentiate between fantasy, fiction, or reality. You do. And if you're not actively involved in the decisions that you're making based on what you desire, what your intentions are, because you have whatever integrity, levels of integrity, respectability, levels of honor, if you're not making decisions around what is the alignment of your highest self, again, if you're not making the decisions around what is in the best interest and aligning with your higher self, then someone else is. All right? So be clear. Let's be clear. You decide what's real important to you or not. You decide on what's real important to you. Yeah, I'm doing a little reading. I wrote some stuff, and I want to make sure that I kind of stay on point, because I know I can get a little here and there with what I'm saying. However, it's necessary, because the coding, encoding, and the encrypted information that comes through me is why I recorded, number one. And number two, the soul knows. That which is understood does not have to be explained. And it's at the soul level. It's at the levels of high vibrating light essence. So we don't have to sit down and hold your hand and break it down, so you either gonna do it or you're not gonna do it. I'm not here to make you do. I'm not here to do anything but share my experience or experiences that has brought me to this place to have the confidence, courage, or whatever you want to call it, to share. I mean, this is really for me. I've said it a gazillion times on the shows that I had before years ago, Blog Talk Radio, Get Your It Together, Spiritual Insight for the Consciousness, the book. But I used to have a show called Get Your It Together, and I interviewed some of the world's renowned metaphysicians, alchemists, you name it, anything to do with the unseen realm. Dr. Phil Valentine, Sonia Barrett, Dr. Delbert Blair, the late great, rest in peace, Dr. Blair, and speaking with these people, Dr. Kabahawatha Kamane, and the list goes on and on, to be honest with you, but that's not really important. What's important then and now is it was about turning on, tuning in, and turning it up for those who were interested. And they tuned into the show. That's what it was about. It wasn't about who knows more, who has what, and oh, you better, and this one's not good, and your spirit, which is animated, is the animation of your soul, is gathering, absorbing information and having experiences with the information, and then feeding back to the soul what those experiences are, what they aren't, how they work, and giving you wisdom. You don't get wisdom just from hearing someone speak. They might remind you of something. You don't learn anything. This is, see, the other concepts are somebody teaching you. Ain't nobody teaching you. You can't teach a soul. The soul been around a gazillion years. So what are you teaching it? You're creatively experiencing that which is consciousness being expressed creatively with your imagination, is what it's supposed to do, or what you're supposed to be doing. But because someone has usurped your thinking processes and put in a artificial pattern that you're running as a program, that's what's going on. You have the ability to reclaim that, reclaim you. That's what this is about. And the energies that are here in this paradigm that we've shifted into is feminine in principle. And what those principles are, you should know. And if you don't know, it's okay. But it's coming back to claim you. You're gonna be assisted back home if that's what you want. Some people don't want it. It's okay. It's not a bad thing. I don't want that. Well, you don't have to have it. Eat your broccoli. You don't have to eat the broccoli. Because it's an energetic presence that is relative to you kicking and screaming about something you don't really want to do. Your heart is not intentional when it's doing something against its will. So thereby processes a different type of reality. So there's no issue with anything you want to do as a soul. So you make the decision, you decide, and you make the decision, you decide on what's important to you and or not important to you. And you put your focus and attention on it. You pay attention to a given set of circumstances, places, people, or things, expending precious energy of one's own intention. So there's always an intention behind what is being done. You have an intention of ill will, or you have an intention of goodwill. Well, I won't say goodwill. You have an intention of ill will, or you have an intention of high frequency that you're reaching for. You know, and you get that. You get that because of your level, depending on your level of focus. Now understand, you generate a vortex of energy around that which is intentional and which is what's in your heart. And this is part of the creative process that you and you alone are in command of. So with your imagination and your intention and your level of focus, you generate a vortex around that which you desire. And then it is processed in your subconscious, or it seeps into your subconscious. So you don't even think about it no more, but it's there. And the more you feed it, or the more you generate thoughts and energy around that, you create, well, again, that's a misnomer. You're not creating anything. What you're doing is you're accessing the quantum field of possibilities of where that exists. And it exists in your mind. And your mind is playing a kaleidoscope of ideas, ideals, and generating energy around how you feel about those ideals, perspectives. And you are either magnetized to or you're repelled from. In this field, it's a field of endless possibilities. That's the quantum realm. Everybody can't play on that field. Everybody can't play on the field. Everybody can't play in the field. You, however, can. I ain't getting into all of what and why and how come. Just know this is how it works. Energy, frequency, and vibration, this is how it works. And that's what you have access to. That's what you're able to put your essence, absorb your essence, and have access to and through. That's why it's precious energy. So, and it involves your heart. Again, you're either intentional, you could be intentional or unintentional, but you are the catalyst behind what is or isn't happening in your life, whether you want to accept it or not. So many have been conditioned in a myriad of ways around ideas or the idea of separation. So you've been conditioned and programmed to separate yourself compartmentalize things so that now you can build up something, and then you supply the energy around the idea that you're separate from, or you're better than, or you're less than, or you need more of, or you don't have enough of. It's the thoughts that you carry. It's the whole idea is to have you think, give you a perspective that is not your own, and then beat it in your head, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, but drill this in your head with a consistent repetition till you accept it. Well, that's what they do, and that's what they said, and they said they're gonna have to do this, and it's gotta be that, and so you're accepting what someone is telling you about something pertaining to you. They don't know, but they got you thinking they know, so you accept what you're being told from someone who don't know. If you want to go back in time just a little bit, when they saw melanated people in their natural environment and natural habitat, they defined and gave definitions for what they thought was going on. They didn't know about the quantum realm and the unseen realm and your interaction and systemic connection, organized patterns that only you have, like your fingerprint. They didn't know nothing about what any of that meant, nor did they care. So we have to understand that it's not about what somebody else thinks of you. It's more about what you know of yourself. And that's the challenge. If there is such a thing as a challenge, that would be it. To know thyself. To know what it is and why you are who you are. And then have the courage to stand in that space that you occupy, which is infinite, and not be afraid. And not be afraid. So understand, nothing is separate. I'll repeat, nothing is separate. What you call good, bad, up, down, they're all polarities on the same plane. And polarity does not really exist. So what happens is you make a choice based on a thought and an idea of how you feel or what is going on in your life, and you determine something. It's neither good nor bad. It's just more about you made a choice to do something. You feel like you want it this way instead of that way. Part of the conditioning or part of the programming is to find fault. Look for someone to blame for why you feel the way you feel. Oh, well, the weather, when it's raining out, it's just, I don't feel, some in my bones when it's, I can tell it's going to be, snow's coming, all these things they call superstitions and all. There's an implanting or an imprinting on the mind to alter the natural signatures and signaling that you have in connection with your higher self. Interference. You can call it interference. Running interference. So we must understand that nothing is separate. All things are thoughts, perspectives, ideas, and they are accessible. And they're used and available to be used throughout in any given moment. In any given moment. So it's called choice. It's called choice. What I'm talking about is called choice. And now, the choices you make, you have to be responsible for them. You have to stand and deliver. Claim it, whether you want to or not. You made a decision to do something, stand behind it. And you'd be surprised, probably, at how it all is going to work out. No matter what choice you make, it works out. So why not stand? Why not be integrous? Why not be honorable? Why not be respectable? You know, they're talking about killing with kindness. You're not killing them with kindness. What you're doing is you're generating a vortex of energetic vibratory frequencies around you and the decisions that you've made and the way you move to where you can't be touched. You can't be touched. You know, so yeah, they call doing the work meditation. You got to go inside. Can't be afraid of the dark. The light comes from the darkness. Remember that. Remember, you know, for those who believe in the Bible said, let there be light, right? So that means it was dark. So let's be clear on what's going on. So you must return back to that place. Now, that's not a bad thing, because we've been conditioned to think that, you know, if it's not favorable in these planes of existence that we know about or think about or been conditioned to believe in but not really know anything about, then we don't want to deal with that. However, you have no choice if you are interested in summoning all of your power. You're not going to get it from outside of you. You have to go inside, and inside is dark. You've had these experiences. Your life has been a crazy mess. You know, ain't no telling. Everybody's got a story, right? And we've all been infected. We've all been infected. And everybody's got a story. And so you have to go and unearth a lot of that which has been in you. You have to go within to deal with that. Bring it back up and deal with it. Come to terms with it. Find peace with it. Because you're not going to take yourself to the highest level or meet your higher self or get back home if you're holding on to the hurt, heartache, and pain, and you're carrying it. It's a part of you, so you might as well face it. Work it out. That's the only way to know, to have that experience, to know who and what you are. And when you do that, it expands itself. Consciousness expands itself within, through you, so that you'll know other things. That's where you get clairaudience, clairsentience. You know, you'll be able to read minds and understand things that you just don't see, because you can't measure this stuff I'm talking about. Infinity can't be measured. The quantum field of possibilities cannot be measured. They want to, they try to, but they cannot measure it. That 95 or 97% junk DNA, they call it, and it's no junk. They just don't know what it does or what it can do. And you've heard me say it a gazillion times before. There's no junk. There's nothing trash about you. And then again, think about it. What rises, what kind of crops grow through the manure? You have to go through something to know anything about anything. You have to have some experience. So you needed those things, whatever it was in your life. The trauma. The trauma is what sparked you, lit a fire under your ass and made you move. The trauma is the reason that you're where you are, thinking the way you think. And if you're not happy with it, change it. Ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. I can give you or tell you, get up at 7 o'clock and do this at 4, and if you say this 10 times and you spin around for, rituals, you are the ritual. You make up your own shit. Make up whatever it is you want, but be consistent with it and do it from the heart. Be sincerely genuine about your shit. Stop playing with this. You can play with it too, because that's, to be honest with you, that's why it's not work. Because you find yourself playing and enjoying it. When you really, really, really put your finger on the pulse of your pulse, and you say, oh, now I understand. When you really get to you can meditate, you can find quiet spaces, you can sit back and be in a room in the dark by yourself. It doesn't matter. Just be consistent and speak to the genuine sincerity that is coming through you, and be true to that. Regardless to the circumstances that may befall you outside, what's going on inside? Some told me to do. I know, I started to do that. What happens is the more you focus in on your inner GPS, the more you'll get communication from the higher self, or that aspect of you that's kind of like just been chilling. Hey, let me see what he gonna do or she gonna do. And then lo and behold, you speak on it. You don't ask. You say, hey, look, I want to do this, and I'm gonna do this. I smoked cigarettes for quite a while. Decided I didn't want to smoke cigarettes no more. Said I'm not going to smoke cigarettes no more. Stop smoking cigarettes. Like, everybody can't do that. Everybody, you strong mind. You can do it if you really want it. I really wanted to stop. And I told myself, take away that taste. I no longer want that. That is not healthy for me. I've seen too many people transition as a result of their own doing. That's where we are today. And if that's transitioning is not a bad thing either. However, if you have something to do, then you ain't trying to take yourself out. If you enjoy what you're doing, you ain't trying to take yourself out. If you are living your life and not stressing in your life, you ain't trying to take yourself out. If you're enjoying and you found happiness and peace, you ain't trying to take yourself out. You make a decision on what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, and then do it. That's the covenant that you have. So listen, you can drop me a line. I don't really care a whole lot about a lot of this stuff. I just do this because this is a way to remind me, because that's really all we need to do. Is we just need sparks, memory, mind, jogging the mind, jogging the memory. A soul just needs to be not reawakened because you're waking up on your own, but spark your memory. There are things you need to spark your memory. My book, Get Your It Together, Spiritual Insights for the Conscious, Volume 1, and I have Volume 2 coming out shortly. But I mean, I don't. It's not about me. It's not about me selling you something, because that's the system we're in, commerce. I don't feel like that's, I do this because I love what I'm doing, and I love myself, and I love being in the position to share the wisdom of my experiences that's brought me to the space and place that I thoroughly enjoy. And so, I'm genuine with this. I'm not, this is no, I don't care if you buy the book, you don't buy a book. I got a website. I've been putting it together for the longest. JHWENTINC.com. But I ain't finished it. Cause I'm not really focusing in on that. Yeah, I'm a shaman, initiate, and an author, and that means nothing. It just means that's what I choose to do, and I'm choosing to do it based on in this moment. I've been Revelation. My name has been Revelation. King James, KYNGJAYMES, did some programs in Chicago for some years, stuff with the community. That's what I was doing then. And now I'm a voice of consciousness. The Melanin Man, aka a voice of consciousness. I'm enjoying my life. And I can call myself and say, well, it don't matter. None of this stuff really matters. What matters is you remember yourself to the extent that you fully embrace and put on the full armor. Well, you don't really need armor, because you're the armor. Everything is you. Whatever you think you need to be protected from, you basically saying you need protection. You're telling yourself there's something you should be afraid of when you say you need protection. So doing the work, there's no such thing. Not when you're natural. When you're a natural, it's not work. There's nothing hard about it. Just be sincere. Just be honest and true to that which is you, and it ain't no work involved. And think about it. The DNA that's in you coursing through your veins are the ancestors. So the work has been done. You are already who you are, even before you opened your eyes as a baby. You came here equipped. So stop being afraid of it. Don't let them spook you out of it. Don't have them running away from it. Hunters and gatherers. That's somebody else's reality. We didn't have to hunt nor gather. Yeah, pick stuff off the tree, go through the forest. You don't have to worry about it. It's a whole nother paradigm that you've been given, and it doesn't belong to you. And you must know that. Alright, well, hey, I'm good. I'm done. I went a little bit. And this is a voice of consciousness. I am the Melanin Man, aka a voice of consciousness. If you have any questions, or you want to share some of your thoughts, or you want to, I'll get my Instagram and all that stuff going. I don't really care about it, but at some point, I guess I will get involved a little more. However, Voice of C at protonmail.com. Get on the mailing list so that I can send stuff to you, and subscribe, of course, to the YouTube channel, A Voice of Consciousness on YouTube. You can just put in A Voice of Consciousness. So, whatever, it's all good. I'm going to do this whether you support or be a part of it or not, and I give thanks. So, humbly loving, respectfully giving, genuinely authentic. Peace.